and welcome to our home here in Brittany in northwest France, and welcome to Frugal Food on Friday, where we share with you our money saving tips from our kitchen here in France. If you're new here for the very first time, my name is Jane. My husband Michael is behind the camera. We're early retirees, debt and mortgage free, and all this month we have been taking part in a pantry challenge. And as you can see, I'm standing in front of my cupboard here. This week I wanted to use up as many of the open baking products that I possibly could, and I've also done some batch cooking with them, and I've got them in the freezer. So take a look at what we cooked this week. Okay, let's take a look at the ingredients. Let's have a look at what I want to use up today. Let's go left to right. I have eggs, I have 3 opened pots of flour, I have ground almonds, flaked almonds, hundreds and thousands, sugar sprinkles, I think some people would call them. At the back I have vegetable spread. I really do need to use that up. I have baking powder, brown sugar, mixed fruit, open mixed fruit at the back, open dark treacle, some of you call that molasses. I have an open bag of sugar, I have open crystallized ginger, open marmalade, and dates there to use up, and porridge oats. So those are my ingredients. Now what I did is I got all my ingredients out of my baking store cupboard. And then I've had a look at them and thought, what can I make with them? I've gone to the internet, I've thought to myself, I think date and ginger go together. That can be some. I know that dark treacle and brown sugar can make gingerbread, so that's something. And obviously with the ground almonds and the mixed fruit and the marmalade, I can make a fruit cake. And obviously in all of this, I'm going to be using up some of the flour. Now those 3 flours over there are all gluten-free, but they're open. That's the thing, you see, they are open and they do need using up. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a fruit cake, gingerbread, and date and ginger slice. So I've taken a look at my ingredients on my batch cooking day. I've now got out the 3 baking tins that I'm going to use for these 3 batch cooked cakes today. I've got my mixing bowls out already, and I am preheating my oven. So I'll make sure that I'm all ready first. Now before I start cooking anything, I weigh out all my ingredients for each cake, so I'm really quick and ready to go. It's time efficient, I don't waste any time, and if they're all ready at the same time, they can all go into the oven at the same time. You can see here I have taken my dates and the water and I've let them simmer down so they've made a mush. The other thing that you can see in here is I had a little bit of stem ginger, which is the ginger root or ginger stem, and it's been preserved in sugar syrup, and you add it to things like Christmas cake. Anyway, I had some left, so I've also chopped that up and I have added that in there. I then have in another bowl brown sugar, vegetable spread, some baking powder, and I also have some flour. I'm going to blend these together with a hand mixer. There's a blended mix. I then have oats and chopped up crystallized ginger. That's going to be added to the mix. I then have my lined baking tray. I'm going to add half the mix, then the dates, then the next piece of mix on top. So there it is in the tin, ready to go in the oven. And what I'm going to do is I'm batch cooking, and these pretty much all cook at the same time, is I'm going to put them all in the oven at the same time. And then I will know my start time, and the things that cook first will come out first, and the things that take the longest stay in the longest. But it just helps me that I do not have 3 different start times. So I'm going to put this on the other side and then get on with something else. The next thing I'm going to make is a fruit cake. So I have all my dried fruit mix separate here. When we buy fruit mix here, it's got sultanas, currants, raisins, and dried citrus peel, and it's called in the UK dried fruit mix. If you can't get that wherever you live and you can get raisins, just use raisins. Now in my bowl here, yep, it's all in shop, I have my almonds, my baking powder, my sugar, my marmalade, what else have I got, and flour. So flour, eggs, baking powder, almonds, vegetable spread, sugar, eggs, marmalade. There you go. And I'm just going to blend that until it's a smooth batter. And then all I will do is add in the dried fruit mix it up and pop it in the mixing bowl. And that is it. It's very, very simple to make fruit cake. So there it is. I'll put it to one side and I'll get on with my next cake. The next thing I'm going to make is sticky ginger cake. And in this pot here, I have treacle, some of you call it molasses, golden syrup, butter, sugar, and some of the stem ginger that I'm trying to use up today. In here I have my flour, my baking powder and some of my chopped up crystallized ginger. And here I have my milk and 1 egg beaten. I will melt this all together gently and then let it cool slightly. I will then add it to my flour mixture, and then finally I will add the milk. I'll beat it all together and pour it into a, see the size of my tin, and I've lined it with paper. So that's what I will do next. Everything is now ready to go in the oven. On the right hand side, the date and ginger slice is going to go in the oven at 180 degrees centigrade, and I'll leave it in there for 35 minutes. The 2 ginger cakes, can you see 2? I only got 1 tin ready. I think I made either twice as much or my tin wasn't big enough. Who knows? I've got 1 in a silicone baking tin and 1 in a regular baking tin. Hopefully they will not all pour out the side when they cook. And at the back is my fruit cake. My fruit cake is going to take 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes, but I will test it. These will take 45 minutes to 1 hour. I'll check on them. And as I said, the date slice will take 35 minutes. But I know if I put them all in the oven at the same time, I write the times down and I look at the times and take them out. And also whilst they're cooking, I get time to clean up the carnage and the mess out of shot that you can't see. So let's get them in the oven. So you saw me bag up the cakes. So let's take a look here. We've got date slices in the freezer. These are great. They've frozen really well individually. And all Mike has to do is just take a couple out when he wants and leave them to defrost. Same again with the sticky ginger cakes. They've frozen really, really well. So you can just take one out. I think you could even cut it in half, put half back in the freezer to stay frozen, and then put the other half out to eat another time. So there they are. They freeze really well. And if you wonder where the fruitcake is, it's in a tin and Mike's eating it this week. So there it was, a whole month of pantry challenges, of batch cooking. And this week was using up everything that we had in our baking supplies. And it just goes to show that you can even put that in your batch cooking and that you can get it in your freezer, and that cakes and date slices and things like that freeze really, really well. Now, I really hope that you enjoy our videos. If you do, go on, give it a like. If you're not a subscriber, would you please consider being a subscriber? And this is the bit I love most of all. We absolutely love it when you leave a comment. So I have a question for you. Are you a baker? What do you bake? And do you ever batch cook your baking and put it in the freezer? Go on, leave a comment. We really love to hear from you. Well, we hope you've had a lovely week. We hope you have a really good weekend, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye for now.